Hello and welcome to the Raptors Reaction Podcast. I'm your host, William Liu, speaking to you after the Toronto Raptors defeated the Detroit Pistons in preseason action by a score of 103-92. Before I go on, let me do a little introduction for the show for anyone who's new to the podcast, which is a new thing that we're doing this season, where I'm hoping to record a 10 to 15 minute reaction podcast that summarizes the game, gives you what you need to know, the nuts and bolts of what happened, and I'm hoping to do that. It's a new project, like I said, so if you have any feedback, positive or negative, what to do, what not to do, what to talk about, what not to talk about, what sort of direction you want the show to go in, please hit me up. I'm very open to feedback at the moment. I pretty much will be open to feedback throughout the season. Either leave a comment in the comment section of the post or hit me up on Twitter at William_Lou. I'd be happy to hear from you. So, going back to this game. I guess I got to couch it first with the fact that the game wasn't televised in Toronto. It wasn't on cable or anything like that. It was played in Detroit. And as far as I know, the only broadcast that carried it was some sort of Pistons.com in-arena feed, which mostly played Pistons highlights. And after Pistons baskets, they would show the highlight instead of showing the Raptors possession. It's a bit annoying. I didn't really get to catch all the game. But, for the most part, the Raptors got to play a preseason game, and this is their second last one before preseason ends. So, it's starting to actually resemble real basketball, real regular season basketball. And in this one, the Raptors played a team in the Pistons that were very competitive, very much into the game as well. This is not like a regular preseason game where you're playing third string dudes a lot. It was mostly the Pistons rotation versus the Raptors rotation, and that was good because that's the first real test, a real game for the Raptors to have played in preseason so far, and I thought the Raptors acquitted themselves quite beautifully, led as usual by their two guards, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, both they shined. Talk about them a little bit more. The Raptors, it was I don't know, they jumped out to an early lead. They should have, and then they should have too, because A, they're a better team than the Pistons, and B, the Pistons look a bit disorganized right now without their starting point guard in Reggie Jackson. Filling in his place is Ish Smith, who did okay, but Ish Smith is not really a difference maker. He's more like a placeholder, and the Pistons really could have used somebody to guide their offense a little bit, and especially when they went to the second unit, the Pistons didn't look great. But regardless, it's not really about the Pistons. The Raptors, I thought they acquitted themselves quite beautifully. The game got close-ish at times in the fourth quarter. This is when the Raptors mostly play with a bench unit, which did include two of the rookies, but still the Raptors hung on against some of the Pistons' better players too, mind that, and they got the win. So let's hand out 3 stars to the game. First star of the game has to go to, well, really, first star, second star doesn't really matter in this case because Lowry and DeRozan were unequivocally the 1 and 1A in this game. Both of them continue to look in prime regular season form. I remember commenting after the Cleveland game, that was the game where Lowry went off and looked just incredible. I think he had 27 points in like 24 minutes or something like that. Same thing here, 27 points, 29 minutes, 8 of 17 shooting from the field, hit 5 of 8 from deep, 6 of 6 on free throws, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, only 1 turnover. Just a tremendously positive game for Lowry, and Lowry looks great. Looks very physically fit. Looks like he's sort of capable of taking over the game at any moment. Still the same sneakiness, not necessarily the same tenacity on defense, but it's preseason. Like, what are you really gonna do? But yeah, everything looks sharp, and I think the thing that encourages me most about Lowry right now is that his jump shot looks good, especially the 5 of 8 shooting from deep. Aside from one random pull-up air ball that he took in transition, Lowry was really good. Lowry was really good on these jump shots, and it's very encouraging because I think the jump shot opens up so much for Lowry because he is a smaller player, and if he can get the defender to get really close to him, play up on him, to respect the jumper, which obviously Lowry is a very good jump shooter. If he's drilling the jump shot, if he's really hot, that opens up the game a lot for him and also for the team, so you can use that jump shot, the threat of it, to pump fake the defense out of the way, get into the paint, force rotations, and of course Lowry's a really nice passer, find the open guy. That's the kind of performance that you want to see out of Lowry, and it seems evident that he's completely ready for the season. Another guy is the 1B to his 1A. DeMar DeRozan, second star for this game. An equally solid performance. I think this is the first we've seen of DeRozan in a week. He played in the Clippers game. It was the last game he played, and he was looking really good in that one too, even though that was a loss. DeRozan in this game, 26 points in 24 minutes, 10 of 18 shooting from the field, so a pretty efficient night. Hit 1 of 3 from deep, which is cool. That's kind of how you would expect DeRozan to do. Got to the line 7 times, got 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, which he took for coast-to-coast scores. Just a very solid game from DeRozan. A lot of it was working through the post. Looked very steady on his jump shot and stuff. He just, obviously DeRozan has improved his game a ton, tremendously. And I think it's Raptors fans, I know for myself personally, I've seen him so often. I've seen him play so many games that the change doesn't necessarily seem as stark from game to game, season to season even. He looks mostly like the same player. But then you look at if you just look at it objectively, like a game like tonight, for example, where he's so in control of what he wants to do on offense. He knows exactly what move he's going to make. He's very steady. He's become very methodical in everything he's doing on offense. And it just makes for, especially when the defense isn't the best equipped to guard him. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was on him. He's a really nice player, especially on defense, but DeRozan is bigger than him, and he was able to get to his spots, mostly in the mid-range, getting to the basket, and DeRozan was very effective at it. And even the 2 steals that he got, those were not like gambling steals out top, guarding the man and just pressing up really high on him, but it was reading the defense, knowing that the pick and roll on one side will get shut down, they'll swing it to the weak side to reset the play, and DeRozan jumped that twice and just read the rotation perfectly. And if I don't really even care that much if DeRozan improves that much on offense, whether it's his jump shot or taking less long twos. Obviously, these are things that we want him to shoot the 3. We want him to take less long twos. These are things that Raptors fans want out of DeRozan, but realistically, I think he's already a very effective offensive player. It's just the defense last year was lackluster, and he could put performances together like tonight, and more of them more consistently. DeRozan is a very, very good player, and he can very much take a leap this year, if not even on offense, but on defense. So, he gets the second star, and the third star of the game. I'm always a little bit conflicted on these because it's not quite sure who the Raptors' best guy on any given night is. And I thought Lucas Nogueira acquitted himself really nicely, especially in the second half. Looked pretty steady, pretty energetic on defense as well. He was guarding Andre Drummond on the other end, which is obviously a size mismatch and just a mismatch in every sense of the word. But, Nogueira still played well. Scored 8 points on 4 or 5 shooting. Was active on the glass, 5 rebounds, including 2 offensive rebounds and 2 assists. It was just, I don't know. Bebe has looked more consistent as preseason has gone on, and that's good because I think has been rehashed a lot. But I think Bebe is going to have the first crack at the backup center spot. I'm sorry about this dude driving a loud ass car. My room is very hot, so I left the window open. So enjoy the sounds of the street that I live on. Another very deserving candidate for the third star would be Cory Joseph. Cory Joseph continues to look really strong with his jump shot. 4 of 7 from the field. Made the only 3 that he took. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 24 minutes. Very solid play. And I think the most encouraging thing just out of this game in general, just moving beyond the players themselves, is just the Raptors look very much ready for the season, and that's good. That's very good. Okay, I'm also going to hand out the Gerald Henderson Award, which if new listeners to the podcast, it usually goes to a player on the other team that isn't usually that great, but randomly lights up the Raptors on any given night, kind of like how Gerald Henderson turns into Kobe Bryant every time he plays the Raptors. This game, that's Jon Leuer. Jon Leuer, the tackle box, as he was once known. Jon Leuer was killer in the pick and pop, man. He was 5 of 9 from the field, had 11 points. Most of that exposed Jonas' biggest weakness on defense, which is defending in space, especially against pick and pop guys. And Jon Leuer is not a prolific shooter, nor is he very athletic or very quick, but just got to the right spots. And was open, read the defense or read the offense well to know where the kick out is coming from, all sorts of stuff like that. He just got himself a lot of open looks, and 5-9 isn't that great of a game, but he just made Jonas look pretty silly a lot of times, sort of lunging out on the perimeter. And yeah, I thought Jon Leuer was a really nice player for the Pistons tonight, which unfortunately meant that Jonas didn't have a great game, which 9 points on 2 of 8 shooting, which is not great. He didn't have a good job carving out post position, but I mean, again, he was playing against Andre Drummond. He did get Drummond on one of those classic pump fakes where that Valanciunas is not going to shoot, and he's just hoping for the defender to fly by. And I don't know why Drummond keeps doing it, but Drummond keeps leaving his feet to jump out and contesting Jonas's pump fake, and he got a score that way as well, which is something that's consistently happened since the two of them are rookies. But Jonas didn't look great defensively. He doesn't look that active right now. But we'll see. Because even when Jonas doesn't look great, he still ends up having good games. Like tonight, for example, I didn't think he was that great on either end. But you look at the box score: 9 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. Yeah, the shooting is bad, 2 of 8, but that's still a pretty good game. So yeah, overall, the Raptors look great. Just going to quickly wrap up with 2 more things. One, the rookie report. Pirtle and Siakam. Siakam continues to look more ready in terms of who's going to contribute. Just his energy alone is a benefit to the Raptors. Although I think sometimes when he's not playing with the starters and he's playing with the backup unit, he gets overextended and looks a little bit worse. Because obviously he's playing with less accomplished players who are less rigid. I mean, if you're playing with DeRozan and Lowry, you know what you're going to do on the court. They're going to handle most of it, and you just got to fill in where you can, right? And I guess that's might be feeding into why Pirtle hasn't looked as good as Siakam, aside from just energy and how they're playing individually, is that Siakam generally played with better teammates than Pirtle has, because Pirtle's mostly shared the floor with the third unit. But I thought Siakam was good. Had some turnovers, had 4, but had some transition scoring opportunities, was active on defense. I mean, this is what you expected out of Siakam. I thought, it's something I keep talking about after every game now, but Siakam continues to guard these sort of rangier 4s. Today he got Marcus Morris, and I thought he did a good job. Marcus Morris had 14 points on 14 shots, which is not great in 32 minutes, and I thought Siakam handled that pretty well. But, Pirtle, it came in limited minutes, only 5 minutes. He only came in towards the end of the game when the Raptors are already up 10 in the fourth quarter. Pirtle, it seems pretty obvious that he's going to be the third center going forward, at least this season. But, he makes an impact out there. I think one thing that my buddy Dan Reynolds who was watching the game with, he noted out to me that it seems pretty obvious that Pirtle knows where to be on offense, what to do on defense. He looks like he belongs on the court, right? And yes, he definitely needs some more refinement, and he could probably play with a little more vigor, but I think just that smarts alone with his size and the mobility, and he's a very fluid athlete as well. Not necessarily fast, but just everything. When you watch him move and run, he's very smooth and fluid. I think Pirtle, I continue to think he's not exciting as a prospect in terms of what he's capable of doing from night to night, but in terms of productive, I am very confident that he'll be productive. I don't think anything in preseason has shown otherwise. So there's that. There's also the race for the 15th man, which is getting a lot less exciting nowadays because it looks like Jared Uthoff is cut. Not cut yet, but he just doesn't play. E.G. Singler, again, did not play. Yannick Morea was never expected really to make the team. Heslip didn't get any minutes. So it really came down to VanVleet, who played 15 minutes, and Drew Crawford, who played 9, most of those in the second half. I mean, neither player really looked great. They had 2 points between them. VanVleet was 0 for 4. Drew Crawford was 1 for 3. I guess against rotational guys, these guys are going to struggle a bit more. I still like VanVleet overall for the 15th spot, although I got to say Drew Crawford just continues to look solid. Again, like what I said over Pirtle, he looks like he belongs, looks like he knows what he's doing. He's got the size, theoretically, to guard 3 positions. And he definitely gets after it on the defensive end. And he's a low-usage offensive player, but that's kind of useful, too, given how the Raptors play. So, unfortunately, I feel like the Raptors can only keep one of those 2 players, but either way, I think the Raptors have a player between the two of them. So ultimately it's probably going to be VanVleet. Almost definitely it's going to be VanVleet, but it's encouraging at least that the Raptors have two guys like this to choose from. So that does it for this Pistons game. That hopefully will be on League Pass tomorrow, and I can give more details on it. But in the meantime, that's the Raptors 4-2 in preseason. They got one more game to go against the Washington Wizards on Friday. So I'll be speaking to you after that game. Thanks to everyone for listening. And again, if you want to send me any feedback on how I did the podcast, what I should do, what I shouldn't do, please don't hesitate to either leave a comment or tweet at me at William_Lou. So thanks, guys. See you guys next game.